There will come a moment when your blood starts to burn, when someone tests your patience just to see you break, when the world throws you into a storm and dares you to stay calm. That's when most people snap, but not us. Because calmness, true calmness, is not weakness. It's power wrapped in silence. Every time you resist the urge to explode, you win a battle no one else can see. The crowd may call it indifference, but deep down it's mastery. The kind that rattles people, because nothing frightens the world more than a person who can't be controlled by it. So stay here, because in the next few minutes, you'll learn how the ancient Stoics built unshakable calm in a collapsing world. And by the end, you'll see why those who remain still always end up standing above the noise. Subscribe, because this is where the calm begins. There's a moment, right before you lose control. You feel it, that heavy pull inside your chest. Someone says something sharp, something unfair, and suddenly your heart is pounding, your breath is shorter, your mind wants to strike back. It's a war that starts in silence, a war between the calm you want and the chaos that's begging to be released. Marcus Aurelius once whispered to himself, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." He wasn't reminding others, he was reminding himself. Because even an emperor with all his armies and glory couldn't command his emotions without effort. Think about that. If a man who ruled half the world struggled to rule himself, what chance do we have? Unless we train our minds like warriors train their blades. So here's the truth. When you stay calm in the middle of the storm, you aren't avoiding the fight. You are the fight. The Stoics believed emotions are visitors. They arrive, they scream, and if you don't feed them, they eventually leave. Anger, fear, jealousy, they all demand attention. But when you refuse to give them that energy, something strange happens. They grow weaker. It's like standing in a burning room and choosing not to run. You feel the heat, the smoke, the panic, but you stand still. Because you know running blindly will only feed the fire. That's what calmness is. The ability to breathe when every cell in your body wants to react. Epictetus once said, "When something happens, the only thing in your power is your attitude toward it." We forget that. We let tiny moments control entire days. A single insult ruins our peace. A stranger's opinion rewires our mood. But think, how many of your reactions were worth the energy you gave them? How much of your life has been stolen by things that never truly mattered? The Stoic doesn't run from emotion. He studies it, faces it, and quietly dismantles it before it becomes a storm. And maybe that's the test life keeps giving us. Not to see how fast we react, but how deeply we can remain unmoved. Because when we no longer let the outside decide our inside, that's when we finally become untouchable. That's when peace becomes armor, not comfort. And if you can hold that silence, even when the world shakes you, then you're ready to see what lies beyond calmness, something far more dangerous and far more powerful. Have you ever noticed how silence makes people uncomfortable? They expect you to react, to argue, to defend, to break. But when you don't, when you look them in the eye and say nothing, something shifts. They lose control, not you. That's the quiet power Stoics understood. Restraint. Because restraint is not about weakness. It's about dominance over the only thing that truly matters, yourself. Seneca once said, "He who is brave is free." And freedom doesn't come from having no enemies. It comes from not needing revenge. Every time you choose calm over chaos, silence over rage, you're breaking a chain the world keeps trying to wrap around your neck. You're teaching your mind to stop dancing to other people's music. You stop being predictable. You become something rare, someone who cannot be manipulated by emotion, and that terrifies people. But the truth is, restraint hurts at first. It feels like swallowing fire. Because your ego screams, "Defend yourself." Your anger says, "Show them who you are." And in that exact moment, you have to do the opposite. You have to sit with the discomfort, breathe through the shaking, and realize they have no real power unless you hand it to them. That's what the Stoics meant when they said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Self-mastery isn't about control over others. It's control over the urge to destroy yourself while reacting to others. So when life provokes you next time, pause. Watch how everyone else rushes to respond. Then do the thing they fear the most. Remain calm. Because that silence, that restraint, it's not emptiness. It's strength condensed into stillness. And once you taste that power, once you realize how unstoppable it makes you, you'll never waste another word on chaos again. There's a moment in every crisis when everything around you is collapsing. People screaming, deadlines looming, threats pressing from all sides. And yet, there is a space, a small, invisible space where the world cannot touch you. That space is calmness. The Stoics called it the inner citadel. It is the fortress of your mind, built not from stone, but from self-discipline, awareness, and the refusal to let circumstance dictate your state. Marcus Aurelius walked through armies, betrayals, and endless political chaos. Yet he wrote, "Keep yourself simple, good, pure, serious, unpretentious, a friend of justice, God-fearing, kind, full of affection, strong for your proper work." Notice that he didn't say, "React quickly," or "Dominate the world." He said, "Keep yourself steady." The power of calm is not in action, but in the ability to observe, to breathe, to wait. Because from this eye of the storm, you can act with precision, not emotion. And those who act from calm always strike deeper, longer, and with more impact than those who react in panic. Ask yourself, how often do you let the storm pull you under before you even see it coming? How often do your emotions dictate your choices, your relationships, your peace? Imagine if you could step back, breathe, and watch the chaos unfold without it touching you. Not because the world is less cruel, but because you have built a citadel inside yourself that cannot be breached. That is the beginning of unshakable power. And once you glimpse it, once you feel it, nothing outside can ever scare you again. Pain is inevitable. Betrayal, loss, disappointment, they all come. But the Stoics teach us something radical. It is not the pain that breaks us, but how we let it define us. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Every time we scream, every time we lash out, every time we let hurt twist into anger, we give away our power. We hand over our calmness, our clarity, our strength. But what if we could feel the pain and use it instead? What if every betrayal became a lesson in vigilance, every insult a mirror to test our self-control, every loss a teacher of detachment? That's how the Stoics transformed suffering into fortitude. They didn't numb themselves to the world. They engaged with it deeply, deliberately, without letting it poison their inner calm. And here is the secret. The more we endure without surrendering to reaction, the stronger we become. So next time life strikes, pause, breathe, observe the pain without letting it own you. Because in that silence, in that restraint, something shifts. You are no longer a victim of circumstance. You are a master of your inner world. And this mastery, this control over your mind, sets the stage for something far greater, something almost terrifying in its potential. Calmness is not passive. It is not sitting quietly while the world rages. It is power, concentrated, unshakable, undeniable. When you face chaos and do not flinch, people notice, even if they don't say it. They sense it in your eyes, in your voice, in the stillness that surrounds you. And in that stillness, you hold a weapon stronger than anger, louder than shouts, sharper than any revenge. But here's the truth most never realize. The moment you master your calm, the world begins to reveal its secrets. It tests you in ways you cannot predict. It whispers things you never imagined, shows faces you never trusted, and challenges the very limits of your restraint. What comes next is not just calmness, it is control over situations no one else dares touch. And in our next journey, we will uncover the hidden darkness behind those who provoke you most, and why mastering calm is the only way to survive it. Stay here, because what you're about to discover could change everything.